Well, how did it feel, Orange County fans, to be back at Championship Soccer Stadium? Felt like forever. I saw you fans enjoying the match, even though it was a meaningless match this past weekend for Orange County Soccer Club. But we did get to see a lot of young players getting some heavy minutes in the match against Colorado Springs. There also was the match last Wednesday against Rhode Island that last week we said was a draw would be great, but I think after the start of the match and the way it ended, we're probably a little disappointed on that. Hey, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk some more about the World Cup because that's still going on. Other stuff. Let's get this thing started. Welcome to the Show of Champions. This is the Orange and Black SoccerCast. How's it going, Orange County? Welcome to another episode of the Orange and Black SoccerCast, your first and only show dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans and supporters. I'm your host, Ray Samora. I'm here to take you through this journey as we discuss all things Orange County Soccer Club. We've got a full panel tonight. First, Dylan. Dylan, how are you feeling after the week for Orange County?
I could use a rest. I can only imagine how the players actually feel because they're the ones actually, playing week in, week out. I don't feel super optimistic given the match that was in Hartford.
Hartford, not Rhode Island.
I just had to correct you. I was trying to think of how to segue into that one. Thought we were close to giving that one away. I guess in a way we did. But that feels a little out of character for Orange County, and I recognize that our players are tired, and we have something resembling a complete roster, I guess, in theory. So
there we go.
They get a bit of pass there.
Somewhat of a complete roster for this episode, too. Part of that roster is Brad. Brad in Oklahoma. What's up, Brad?
Ceiling is typically up in the room that I'm in, and today's no different. Tornado has yet to take that out, and speaking of tornadoes, Usman Silla on the pitch is a Tasmanian Devil, a Texas Twister, Iowa Cyclone.
Go Hawkeyes.
Okay. All right. I'll take that. Again, we're still at odds. Larry, you get to pick. What is going to happen first on this show? An earthquake live while we're live or a tornado while we're live?
Well, really? We're going to go there?
I'm personally Team Meteor.
Team Meteor.
Oh, that's who I'm voting for. Yeah. What's likely to happen?
What's likely to happen? I would think probably an earthquake is more likely to happen than a tornado. And if a tornado does happen to hit, frankly, I'm in South Orange County. It's not really going to be my problem.
I expect Brad to be a total professional and stay live through the tornado until the episode ends. But we're not here to talk about weather or phenomenons or natural disasters. We're here to talk about Orange County Soccer Club. That's why y'all tune in to listen to us, hopefully. And we're going to just touch on the matches that occurred over the week. There's two matches. The first one, thank you, Dylan, for correcting me, was in Hartford almost a week ago. Orange County, I believe in last week's episode, those of us that were on the show, we were talking about it a little bit, that with how long this road trip has been and with it being a Saturday, Wednesday on the road, not coming back home, East Coast thing, we were probably satisfied with 1 point. In this match, Orange County, I believe, goes up 2-0 and then concedes 2 goals late in the match. So it ends up feeling a lot more like a loss than a 2-2 draw should feel like, especially, again, for a team that's been on the road pretty much since, May, I believe, is what we can really think on that. But Orange County gets at least a point on the road, which our good friend Alan Underwood would say, point on the road is a good thing. And they're now back. Well, they go back on the road again still, but they will be back home soon for a prolonged stretch of matches at home. This Hartford match, I already heard a little bit from Dylan, so I want to hear from Brad and Larry first, and then we'll talk to you, Dylan, about the overall thoughts in this match. Brad, does this match feel like it was missed opportunity for Orange County being up 2-0 late in the match?
Yeah, any single time you give away a 2-0 lead, you're gonna feel like you're hard done. It doesn't matter if, and it's true, the team is extremely shallow on this road trip. They signed a couple of players to some short-term contracts just to have healthy bodies on the bench, and even so, and I don't blame Coach Danny Stone for not using them too much. I think we had 3 subs get used all game, and one of them was in the first half for a Mr. Nicola Ciota, who sustained an injury in this match. So very upset giving away points. However, come out of it with a point. Come out of it, with your heads held high after a very grueling road trip for the year. Going out to the East Coast twice in like 4 weeks, playing 3 games out there with a bye week. Kudos to the players for making it through, and hopefully, the next spell of home games that we have, I think it's 7 of our last 10 regular season games are at home. We'll go a lot better.
Yeah, Larry, let me ask you this on the match, because we talked about last week, and even the announcers, I believe it was Hartford announcers on this match, they were even talking about that Hartford is just struggling like horribly at scoring goals, especially at home, and Orange County concedes 2 to Hartford. Does that make it a little extra painful that the result was 2-2?
Yeah, for me it does. Hartford is without question an inferior team to Orange County, even with our limited roster and bench. Hartford is still an inferior team to us. We played good for a very large portion of the game, and I think just at the end of the game, we gave up those 2 goals in the 69th and the 85th minute. Late in the game, you got tired, heavy legs. You've got Ciota going out with definite concussion the way he landed. It was a rough go. So coming out of there with a point at the end of the day, great. You always want a point on the road, like you just talked about, like we always say. Should we have held on and gotten the 3 points out of this game? I think so. But when you look at the bench and the fact that I think the average age on the bench was about 19, it's going to make it very hard to get that full 3 points. If we had like 11 Usman Sillas, my God, how great would this team be? But we don't. And I'd like 2 more Usman Sillas to come off the bench for some people. But hey, we pick it up, we pack it up, and we move on, and we put this long ass road trip behind us, and we start getting ready to go home and make this last run into the playoffs.
Dylan, is this the result of this match and conceding 2 late goals? Is this basically, can we attribute this to a team being exhausted from the many road matches, and especially with this one where it was, again, we talked about it, they didn't come back home between matches. They stayed out on the East Coast, so they're not getting their comfortable bed night's sleep. They're staying in hotels and whatnot, right?
I mean, it's probably actually better. Flying across the country is miserable. You lose a day going east, and coming back is pretty much the worst experience physically possible, I have to imagine. I don't think it's a result of that. I do think this is Orange County failed to put this one to bed. Orange County came close to making this a 3-0 match on 2 or 3 occasions. And I think if it gets to 3-0, it's over. Hartford doesn't come back. It's fine. Yeah. Thin roster shows, but multiple opportunities Orange County had. Could have put it away. Didn't quite. It's a little unfortunate, but also, I mean, yeah, let's talk about him some more. Usman Silla did incredibly well, and I think this might be the goal that kind of encapsulates who Usman Silla is. He's incredible on the ball. He's not the fastest. He is an incredibly technically gifted player, and he works his way through. He rides a couple challenges and just puts one in the corner. and that's enough for Orange County. That's kind of his role here for Orange County, is progress the ball forward. It also really helps that he can finish. Larry's in the chat and wants to argue about his speed. I will die on the hill that he's more of a technical player than he is a physical player, and that's not just because he's not 6'5", but he has grown, I think, in the last couple of weeks into this role that's been crucial for Orange County in the past. Orange County in 2021 had Eric Calvillo in that role as this progressive midfielder that you could give the ball and play in transition with, and he could carry the ball and ride challenges, and he could provide a threat. That's Usman Silla now. It's crucial. Again, it's crucial as the squad gets a little bit threadbare. And let's just reminisce on 2021 for a minute and just pretend like that's exactly what's going to happen in 2026. I mean, why not? Yeah, Larry's got his Champions t-shirt on, so ultimately, yeah. I mean, we look at the players that have had this role in the past. I think of Brian Olaski. I think of, obviously, Eric Calvillo. These guys were crucial to how Orange County played. It helps that we've had strikers that can finish, and we're kind of doing that by committee this year. Again, shout out to Nico Benalcazar, who nearly scored in this match. But it all works.
Let's not forget Stephen Kelly had a nice goal in this match as well. So both goals coming from the midfield, which is seems like that's going to be needed from Orange County this year, unless the strikers figure things out. Which again, in past seasons, our strikers tend to figure things out in the second half of the season, and they tend to, I think we've had Ethan Ethan Zubak last year, like he didn't get off to a great start, and come the end of the season, you're like, oh, he had that many goals. That's actually a nice number, a decent number. So, Brad, your thoughts on the performance from Stephen Kelly and the goal that he scored on there?
Yeah, I actually do think his goal was quite quality, going and making himself a lot of room in the left-hand side of the box, a la a man that you mentioned, Mr. Milan Olaski. While he might not be as prolific of a scorer as Olaski, a little bit of shade there, or shades of him there at the top of the box. And also, I did mention it on the show, but Mr. Silla with a absolute worldie of a spin move. Larry, I know you said he's fast, but no, I have to agree with Dylan. He's a lot more technical of a player. That finessing that he does in the midfield absolutely opened up the goal for him. He made himself some space at the top and just made everybody miss. Like it was watching a grown man play against like a bunch of toddlers in the gym class at summer camp. That was absolutely incredible. So, two great goals. Unfortunately, a little hard done by the fact that we had really two healthy substitutes in Zubak and Jameer Johnson in this game. And then I think we had one player come on late in the game, one of the 25-day signings come on for like a 5-minute, cameo in stoppage this game. But really, that's kind of how this whole last couple weeks have looked with the injury situation, and that injury team is almost a starting 11 by itself, on top of the regular 18 that Orange County should be fielding.
So I want to give Larry a chance here. Larry, you are pro, or you believe that Silla does have some speed. So prove to Dylan, prove to Brad, and any listener that agrees with them how Silla has Albie Scandy type speed.
Did anybody see the San Antonio game last year when he outran two of their players, one midfielder and one center back, blew right in between the two of them, and they had no idea what was going on, and they tried to catch him, and nobody was going to catch him. And then he scored, I believe that was in like the 89th minute, and it was either a winner or it tied the game. This guy is fast. I mean, don't mistake what I'm saying. He is incredibly technical, but when he needs to turn on the jets, he absolutely can, and he's going to blow by a lot of people, which he has shown on more than one occasion. Does he have elite speed? No. But is he fast? Oh, yeah, absolutely. I believe he's fast.
Perfect.
I think this is... Go. Yeah?
Go Go, Dylan.
Okay, I think this is kind of emblematic of like teams that oftentimes are younger or thought of like for their development, a la maybe Orange County. Actually, let's put it this way, especially Orange County this year. I mean, our oldest players maybe 31. They oftentimes are kind of unfinished products. They are athletes at heart with technical skills that might get there, and that's kind of the point. Usmansilla can't, he can turn it on, but he is primarily technical, and he kind of, I guess, flips the script on what the typical player for the USL looks like, or a typical young player looks like. I recognize that he is not the youngest member of this team. I think he's actually technically quite a bit above the average age for our team at something like 24. He might be 25 later this year, but it shows that there's a little bit more, I think, to this league and a little bit more to this team than just a whole bunch of young players who maybe can be rounded into great players, not just athletes. There's already some ballers here who, with some more practice and some more experience, will probably and should deserve to take that next step up. Oh, and producer Andy would like me to know that the average age of our team is 22.39, which is younger than Usmansilla. And Kevin Partita, our oldest player, is in fact 31.
There we go. Look at that. Larry, I'll give you a chance to just speak about your thoughts on the goals and anything else you want to share on this match.
I love Stephen Kelly's goal. That was one of those ones that made me sit up out of my recliner and go, ooh, nice. You know, he got himself a little step and right-footed that thing right past the goalie. It was gorgeous. I absolutely loved it. And, you know, again, we've talked, plenty about Silla and his talent and his speed and how technically solid he is. It was just a great goal. He was breaking ankles out there and making people look silly, which he's been doing for us for 2 years now. What else is there to say about this game? We should have gotten 3 out of it. We didn't, but that's the way it goes sometimes. At least during all of these road trip games and being on the road for so damn long, we have not lost a place in the standings. We are still sitting top of the table. Yeah, New Mexico has 3 games in hand on us, but they're, I think, 7 points behind us right now. So they would need all 3 of those to be W's in order to overtake us in the standings. The boys got to keep doing what they're doing right now.
They do got to keep doing what they're doing. It's unfortunate that they don't come away with 3 points in this match and widen their lead atop the Western Conference against, I believe it was you, Larry, that said that the inferior team in Hartford. Hartford has been struggling for goals this year. And I think I'm just very bummed that we conceded 2 goals to a Hartford that is struggling. And it was disappointing on that. So I'm very sad to see that happen on this.
I think, I'm sorry, Ray, I can interrupt you. I think their announcer said it had been like 2 months since they had scored a goal at home. Yeah, for us to give up 2, I'm right there with you.
It's been 2 months since we've scored a goal at home too, eh?
That's different. Come on, Dylan.
Yes, Dylan.
I see what you did.
Now, here's the interesting. You look at the game flow chart. Hartford actually, it looks like it's more in Hartford's favor. I know not everyone lives and breathes by the game flow chart and expected goals and all that stuff, but really, the fact that Orange County comes away with the point on this, maybe it's a little bit more satisfying looking at the game flow chart. With that said,
I'm just going to keep rolling here. I think it's a bit of an incomplete picture when you take a 2-0 lead, or let's put it this way. When you score a goal in the 8th minute, you don't have to attack. You can start to relax. And that's why we're going to see Hartford dominate XG and largely the ball, because Orange County doesn't have to do that at that point. And when you go 2-0 up, you have to do even less of that, especially as you start trying to, Danny Stone's trying to complete this puzzle where we have a midfielder we have let's put it this way, very young midfielder, no less, who's, another technical player starting to play right back.
Yeah.
We kind of made it work. And we almost came away with something. Again, if we put a goal away, 3-0, we walk away with 3 points and we go, well, that was crazy. How'd we do that? And we're in a maybe better mood about this match.
Well, that's a correct way to look at it, Dylan, because if you think about it, the way Orange County plays, we tend to play a little bit more relaxed and tighten up the defense. And especially when you go on an early lead on the road, you probably expect Orange County to do that even more than normal in those situations. And again, especially with, shortened bench and prolonged road trip, all these contributing factors, Danny Stone is trying to keep the energy use as low as possible, even though after that match, there's a home match in the Prinx Tires Cup that you probably wouldn't expect Orange County's key players to be playing. And that's exactly what we saw after this match. Orange County returned home for the Prinx Tire Cup match against Colorado Springs. And I believe in watching the match, the average age for the starting lineup for Orange County in this was 20, is what the announcer said multiple times. And that's with a player like Ethan Zubak, who is not old, but he's also not young, and not young, but Chris Hagart's in the lineup, but he's actually still pretty young when you look at his age. Even though it seems, I'm sorry. I feel like anytime I see Chris Hagar, I'm like, he's been here forever. He should be at least 28, 29, but he's nowhere near that. He's in the younger half of 25 than the older half of 25. But you saw a lot of debuts from players. You saw a lot of the youngsters, the academy players, Ethan Zubak's younger brother out there playing. So there was, I maybe a record for the most Zubaks playing at the same time on a USL pitch. Who knows? Maybe producer Andy can look up and see if that is a record that happened in this match. But here's what I'm gonna say. I want to find out your all opinions, and our listeners, if you're listening live, share your opinions on the chats as well. I don't think Orange County looked horrible for what roster they threw out there. We saw a young roster, and when you see a young roster against a more veteran roster, I feel like we overperformed. And what I mean by that is they stayed even with Colorado Springs on the score sheet. They actually made it looked dangerous a few times up until about the 55th minute of this match. And then you see the experience, the tiredness, the lack of closing ability for young players. And we saw Colorado Springs come out and get 3 goals late in the match. I actually was very proud of the way the young players played in this match. It gives me a lot of hope for what to see in the future. And maybe if I was a Colorado Springs fan, I'd feel a little bit embarrassed that our team couldn't come out and get a 3-0 lead at halftime playing against the 20-year-old roster of Orange County. Dylan, your thoughts on this one?
I want to take a minute and just say, hey, congrats to all of the guys that made their debuts. Even with the circumstances, I know that I have any input on this. I know that Danny Stone and Didier Cretnan would not be putting out guys who don't deserve it, who haven't looked like it in training, who aren't ready. Are they polished? Are they perfect? No, they got to start somewhere. And Orange County did actually look quite threatening. Zubak still looks like he's about half a step behind. We see that, when he gets his first chance in front of Colin Shuttler and is, quite literally half a step behind kind of his reaction. I hope that comes in time, and I hope he's kind of match fit and raring to go and ready to, at this point, I don't think it's fair to put the pressure of 10 in, I think 14 on him, but, to put some goals in at this point. Beyond that, go ahead.
No, finish your thought, Dylan. I thought you were done.
Oh, I just want to say beyond that, Orange County's still a good team, and yeah, you still have to actually score. So I didn't think we were going to get walked over in this match. The scoreline maybe suggests that we did, but it kind of really didn't fall apart until the very end, and that's largely what I would expect given the kind of disparity in experience more than anything else.
And so I want to go to Larry next. Sorry, Brad. I know you haven't spoken in a while, but I do want to go to Larry because Larry was actually at this match. And again, first match at Championship Soccer Stadium in what seems like a whole season. Larry, I get it. It was the Prinx Tires match. There was also big World Cup matches going on at the same time, or not matches, a big World Cup match going on, I think around the same time as this match. So obviously you probably can't expect there to be a sellout crowd at Championship Soccer Stadium, but how was the atmosphere for the fans that did show up? Well, did you like what you saw? Did the fans seem happy to be home? Give us your thoughts on all that.
When it comes to the section where the bulk of our season ticket holders sit, which is there on the team side, which I can't remember the numbers of, you guys know what I'm talking about. Nothing but smiles. People just glad to finally get back inside the champ. And then I'm not talking about just the fans. I'm talking about the players coming out of the tunnel. Tom leading them out for warm-ups. Huge smile on his face. Liam McKinnon, huge smile. Haggart, Nico, everybody was just all grins because, you know what? Finally, 77 days, 11 weeks, get to come back home and play in our house, which, let me just say, those new nets that the U.S. men's national team left us, gorgeous, tight. The pitch in the 8 years I've been going to the champ has never looked better. It's absolutely fantastic. I know all the guys were very excited about that. And the atmosphere, I mean, would it have been nice to have 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people in there, which I think it can hold like 7,000 now. Yeah, that would have been awesome, but it wasn't going to happen for this game because a lot of people knew it was a meaningless game. And on top of that, we were starting kids, literally kids. It was super cool to see the Zubac brothers get to play together. I would have to imagine, based on their age differences, that those two have never played on the same team together. And I think it was Russell who told me that there's actually two other Zubac brothers who are also soccer players, but I don't know where they fall in between or above Ethan in age. So that was very exciting. And I'm sure it was very exciting for Ethan and for Liam. So, you know, good for them. Did our boys do well and put on a good show for us? I think so. For, again, being a lot of very, very young players. Colorado didn't score until, what was it? I think the 55th minute they scored. And they held them off that long. So good job on them. Good job on the on Danny putting a good team out there who were able to compete with. And if you look at Colorado's starting lineup, it looks like they were playing pretty much their regular 11. So I think that overall we did a good job. Danny Stone showed once again why there's no question whatsoever that he should have been the first half coach of the year, USL Championship first half coach of the year. And I think if he keeps on doing with this team what he's done all year, he should walk with that trophy, with that hardware at the end of the season. So good on him. Good on the boys for not going out and getting shelled by what was player for player on the pitch. Colorado had the superior team because we had the youngsters playing. So, but it was fun. It was a good time. It was nice to be back there. It was nice to be back on the sidelines. The stadium looks great. Can't wait for this run to come to the, going into the end of the season and the playoffs.
Brad, I want to get your thoughts on the match, but really quick before we do so, to start the second half, we saw Orange County go with what seems to be the hit of the time for soccer on the kickoff and just boot it down, give the other team the ball in their corner of defense and put pressure on them. Are you a fan of that strategy, Brad?
I cannot confirm or deny my opinions of it.
All right. Okay, cool. Tell us your thoughts on the match.
I think
I didn't know it was so secretive to share your thoughts on that.
I literally am like the most neutral. Like, I understand, I guess, why they do it. But look, my counterparts, Larry and Dylan, both covered this very well. This was a game of, a group of kids that kind of are like a ragtag, young Avengers versus, a well-seasoned team with Corey Bennett, Frank DeRoma, Juan Tejada. Like, these are players that were on the Colorado Springs championship team 2 years ago. That have been there, as a well-oiled team for 2 years, and they didn't allow a goal until 53, 54 minutes into the game. Big kudos to the kids there. Everyone's tired. Everyone's, happy to be home, and I'm super happy that, the team's playing in Championship Soccer Stadium. It's been, 77 calendar days in between the two games on April 25th and the home game on July 11th. So everyone's happy to have him back. I know we had that one game in Santa Ana Stadium, but thank gosh the Prinx Tires Cup has drawn to its conclusion for Orange County. I love seeing players play. Younger players get the minutes that they deserve. The team's obviously made it clear, just like, us as fans, we see it as an opportunity to give young players time on the pitch, a literal, no sweat. If you screw up, there's very low stakes in this game. And Colorado is a team that is treating this a little bit higher stakes. I think they went undefeated in the group. So, two different, philosophies of this tournament. But let me just say, I'm so happy to see it done with. The Anti-Malort Cup, I really think should get retired, but I know the league wants it, so it's going to stay every year. But I hope we keep the same philosophy year in, year out about this.
I believe, Larry, you have a question.
I do. Well, I have a question for the entirety of the board and for the fans listening, and even for producer Andy. Just moving forward into the 2027, 28, 29, 30, and beyond seasons, can Orange County Soccer Club just go ahead and opt out of all cup competition? Because it doesn't work out well for us. And, I would just like to see our guys get rest instead of playing these how many extra games do we play? 4? 3 or 4 in the Prinx Cup, and then 2 or 3 in the 7 extra games where we didn't do well. And, we were pretty much eliminated by the second game. So forget the cup games. Let's just go after the USL Championship Cup.
Nope. Larry,
I do have to.
Larry. Go ahead, Brad.
I'm going to steal your point. I'm pretty sure you and I are thinking the exact same thing, but 4,000 people attended this game, regardless of how much they sold a ticket for, $5, $15, $30 for the sidelines. Those are butts in the stands, and at this level, we need as many butts in the stands as we can get. Not every game is not meaningless, no matter how you treat it, and I'm happy, I'm happy for opportunities like this for the team. They need it. You're not making money in this league.
I've got even more for you on this, Brad and Larry. Here's why playing in these types of competitions become important as the league grows. As a league grows, you're going to need to build deeper rosters. You're going to need to bring talent in. How do you convince young talent that maybe is not shoe-in to start in the league matches to join your team? The best way to do so is to say, hey, when we're in the cup matches, you are going to get your shot to play. You're going to get minutes. And if we can prolong and go far in some of these cup runs, you might get some more opportunities. This is a way you can entice players that might look elsewhere because they want more minutes, whether that elsewhere is a League One team or somewhere elsewhere in the world. If you can at least tell them, hey, we've got these cup matches. We're going to give you some minutes in these cup matches. You're going to get your opportunity to shine. And if you shine in that, you might earn a spot in the main in the league matches. That's where you can entice some of these players. And as the league grows, we all know the first division coming and the pro rel stuff coming, and the aspirations of the USL is to grow into a big league. You're going to need to be able to offer minutes somehow, some way to these players instead of them going to other teams. So that's where these, I 100% am against you on this, opting out of the Prinx Cup or whatever they want to call it next year, and the US Open Cup, because it's a way to entice players with offering them the ability or guaranteeing them minutes in those competitions. By the producer Andy, go for it.
Yeah, I'm going to put this delicately. Some of my sources, yes, I have sources, have told me that a lot of people aren't happy with the format of the USL Prinx Tires Cup. What is a Prinx Tire anyway? No one knows. Um, I I don't have a I don't have any kind of objection against a cup tournament in general, but the way they've put this together is terrible. Why do we have
Oh
groups
yeah,
if you don't play anybody in your group? Why do some groups have 5 teams and some group have 7 teams and some groups have 6 teams? They just need to figure it out because the way they're doing it now is awful. Right now, it's just 4 extra games of avoiding bad tackles. That being said, it is a little bit of fox in the grapes. If we had won the first 2 games, maybe I'd feel differently about it. Maybe the
Me
team
too.
would feel different about it. But either way, I think a lot of people are not happy with the format because the whole premise of the cup was to satiate League One teams. And as we get more League One teams, I'm kind of curious what's going to happen. Okay, that's the most
yes.
you're going to hear from me in a long time. Good night.
Thank you, producer Andy. We're going to move on just for time constraints, unless Dylan really is dying to answer Larry's question, because I want to get to at least one other topic and wrap things up in a timely manner. So, Dylan, do you have a response to Larry's question, or do you want to move on?
Buddy, I don't even remember what it was. Let's move on.
Let's move on. I know, Larry, you're dying to say something. If you can make it short and sweet, I'll let you talk.
I will make it very short and sweet. You say that hey, young man, hey, 16-year-old, you maybe want to play in a Prinx Tire Cup game. That's going to entice him to come to Orange County Soccer Club. I would say that all they have to do to entice young players to come to Orange County Soccer Club is do this: Milan Olowski, Correde Osundina, Bryce Jameson. Should I go on, or do you see where I'm going with this?
I get what you're saying, but they still want minutes. They still want to play.
They don't need the Prinx Tire Cup to entice players to come to Orange County Soccer Club. And I know that's not a sale. There's no way that's going to be a selling point by James and Pete and Coach Stone. There's no way, not a chance in hell. Anyway, let's move on. Next.
Larry's got a lot to learn about how soccer business works. Let's move on and let's do this, because we don't have an opponent next week. We don't really have a match to preview, but we're going to do something similar to what we did last week. We're going to have a topic we're going to discuss. I want to remind everyone that we try to keep the show at an hour. So limit your thoughts to a reasonable amount of time. But for this episode, what our topic is going to be is what is our topic going to be? I now I can't even remember because Larry's got me flustered over his thoughts of
what are
business.
we looking forward to in the second half of the season? Now that we're in the second half of the season, we've played 16 matches. What are we looking forward to?
I think we're all looking at this being that, the road torture is over. We're back into sort of a regular type thing here. So yeah, what are we looking forward to in this second of the season? I'm going to who wants to go first?
I will, as I'm going to say resident person that's really far away, but that's also Brad. It's way further away. I personally am really looking forward to getting to see more of Orange County. I imagine, given the fact that we just spent 2 months on the road, this is probably not a unique thing, but they'll be playing in Monterey. That's a match I'll be able to make to. They'll be playing in Oakland. That's a match that, realistically, Orange County fans can get to. We've got a holiday weekend match coming up against Sacramento for Labor Day. There's plenty to look forward to. We're still setting the pace in the West. And honestly, the World Cup is maybe the best proof of this. And we'll probably talk about that a little bit more later, but there's nothing better than getting to experience and getting to watch these matches with people that you want to spend time with, and foster that sense of community. So that is what I am most excited about, regardless of how the results go in the second half.
What about you, Larry?
I'm not going to talk about what I'm excited about. I'm going to talk about what scares the crap out of me for the rest of this year.
Always has to be contrarian.
Absolutely. Bazzini, Bunbury, Cambridge, Chiota, Dogman, Duty, Espy, Palomino, Partita, War, all players who are currently injured. Now, having had the opportunity to talk to some of those players on Saturday night, some of them ain't going to be back for a while. And what terrifies me is that we are not going to have enough strength on the bench in order to make the deep run in the playoffs that this team could make if all of those players that I just said their name were healthy and could be part of the 11 or 18 on a week in, week out, night out basis. It scares me that they're not going to be there. And I think it's going to make it very hard for Orange County to continue on at the pace that it has been, and therefore making it very difficult we're going to make the playoffs. There's no question there. We will be in the playoffs. I am hoping that they can hold off enough at least to get a home game and then just go from there. So that's what scares me. I'm looking forward to them being back. Some of them. I know some of them aren't going to be back though. So there you go. Short and sweet.
All right, producer Andy, next week when we ask everyone what scares you going forward, we'll get this recording. We'll just play that for Larry. We don't have to have him talk about it again. Brad, what is exciting you most about this second half of the season?
I was going to say the exact same list that Larry said. I brought it up on my side monitor. I said earlier there was a full starting 11, and I was almost right. It was 10. And Larry read those names out. But for me, I think what I'm looking forward to for this team is the next time that this team plays outside of the state of California is September 19th on a road trip to Lexington. And including that, there's 3 more games this season that the team has to travel outside of the state of California. And that's Lexington, El Paso, and San Antonio on the last day of the year. That is a wonderful schedule to close out the season where hopefully, players are going to be able to maximize their time at home, maximize their time resting, maximize the good training hours on the pitch that you hope to see work up the conditioning for what Larry said, a good run in the playoffs. There needs to be a lot of work to get healthy there and a lot of work to stay healthy. And when you're at home for such an extended amount of time, it's going to give the team an opportunity to hopefully get healthy, to hopefully get bodies on the field.
Well, you ready for this? We are now in the home stretch. I'm calling this home stretch. It's not even the second half of the season now. We're down to the home stretch here. I know it's only July, but we are into the home stretch here of this season. We are sitting atop the table in the Western Conference. You know what I'm looking forward to in this second half of the season? Home playoff matches. That is what I'm looking forward to. That's what I'm excited about. That Orange County will host 1, 2, 3 home matches in the playoffs. That's how confident I am in this team and what they can do, even with all these injuries that Larry and Brad are talking about. I'm confident in this Orange County team because they've proven that they have the resilience. They've proven that they have the players that can step in, even if it's not their normal position. And we saw that from the beginning of the season with Mo War starting in the back line. We've seen that with Nico Benalcazar playing pretty much every position except for goalie and striker. We're seeing that with many players on this team that are saying, you know what, coach, you need someone there. I don't know how to play it, but I will play there. I will do that for you. I will learn as quick as I can to at least play that position in a way that is beneficial to this team instead of us having no one to play in that position. So what I'm looking forward to, what I'm excited about is home playoff matches in 2026. And not, you notice I didn't say a home playoff match. It's home playoff matches coming up for us because I have faith in this team. So please, Orange County players and team and coaching staff, do not let me down on this. We need those home playoff matches. You guys have proven that you are good enough for this type of confidence from myself, even if my fellow co-hosts seem a little scared in this second half of the season. Let's do this. Let's talk briefly about the World Cup because, man, it's been fun. It's been crazy. And I want to know honestly from each of my fellow co-hosts and any listeners that are listening live, how many of y'all had France in the final? Dylan, did you have France in the final?
I think I said as much last week. Admittedly, Spain going through against Portugal, which also seemed like a given. You have to show up every time, and France did not.
What about you, Brad? Did you have France making it all the way through?
No, just like Mbappe, I had France feeling a little bit of Spain minus the S.
Ooh, I like it. I like it, Brad. Oklahoma's getting you a nice play on words there. Larry, did you like have it penciled or marked in Sharpie that France is going to be in the final for the World Cup? No.
Nope. I did not think that they were going to get there, and I hoped like hell that they wouldn't get there, because as good as they are, I'm tired of hearing about Kylian Mbappe. Although, man, they are good. And I hadn't got the opportunity to watch Michael Elise play quite as much as I needed to, but man, he is amazing. He is amazing on all facets of the game. So yeah, no, I did not have them in there. I was hoping all along that this would be the game at this point, and that Spain would beat it.
There we go. Yeah, Spain is proven to be a pretty formidable opponent in this World Cup. You okay, Dylan? You look scared.
I just don't care for how you pronounced that word. Formidable.
Formidable. Are you gonna be mad when I say aluminium instead of aluminum?
Yes,
they would say aluminium, I believe, but
I say it my way. You know that, Dylan. So don't get mad at me.
Yeah. And I would be mad because it's it's an element, and that's how the rest of them end.
So I will say this: as much as Larry, I did not want to see France in the final. I had no desire. I didn't want to see them to have a shot at winning anything in this World Cup. But I did have them penciled in. I thought realistically, I thought they were going to make it to the final. I know Belgium was my squad, and if Belgium would have beat Spain, they would have been trying to take France out. So I know in saying that, I'm admitting that I didn't think Belgium could actually win it, but I expected to see France in the final. I'm glad that they're not there. I'm Team England at this point for the rest of the World Cup. We'll see if that can happen. But who's winning tomorrow's match, Dylan? England or Argentina?
I don't know. I don't think I'll expand on this. I don't think Argentina has actually been tested by a good team thus far in this tournament. And that's no disrespect to the Swiss. That's no disrespect to Cabo Verde. That's no disrespect to presumably whoever Egypt. They beat in the round of. There we go. I was like, somebody else? I don't remember at this point. I do think, to echo, I think Marguerite's comments earlier, the pressure is more on them as the reigning champions, and I think they're almost a bit fortunate to be where they are, but they still funnel, despite being an older team, that's a team that's experienced, and that tends to make the difference deeper into knockouts. So I have absolutely no idea. I can tell I'm boring about with my answer. So yeah, I don't know who's going to win tomorrow. It should be another interesting match.
Brad, are you Team Brown Sauce or Team Chimichurri?
Dare I say, the heart says that it's coming home. The refs say yellow card to me. If I say something silly like that again, I'm going to get a red. But honestly, I think that Argentina has been very fortunate with some of the calls in their games, and I'm really hoping England does win tomorrow.
Larry, who are you picking for the match?
I don't really care that much who wins this game, except I do want to say, as long as it's not Argentina, I'm incredibly happy.
All right. So then we know who you want. One last thing I want to talk about, non-Orange County related, non-World Cup related. Is that okay with all of y'all?
I wanted to add, I'm kind of
go for it. Go for it, Dylan. Go for it.
All four of us seem to actually be in consensus for once. Are we just sick of Argentina? Do we want a new champion? Is it just fatigue of Messi just 24/7 in every battery / awful home improvement store / cooler / light beer ad imaginable? I can't believe there's this much. How is anybody actually rooting for England, oddly, in this?
Well, because I want to see all of the England people that bashed Harry Kane for all those years celebrate when he brings home the cup. So that's the reason I'm rooting for them.
Okay.
I thought you were done talking about that team you formerly supported.
I'm over it.
Okay. Larry had a good thing, and he actually wanted to predict the final. So, Larry, who's in the final and who's winning, and what's the score?
I actually do believe that England is going to beat Argentina tomorrow, and I would love to see it come home, and I would love to see Harry Kane finally lift a trophy, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I think Spain wins it. I think, or as Dylan likes to say, I think Spain advances on penalties.
Well, you can't advance. The only thing you can do is actually
Shut
win
up.
on penalties in the final match.
They lift the cup.
Also, Harry Kane has, in fact, already lifted a trophy. Of course, they were Bundesliga champions. They were
Bundesliga doesn't count.
Yeah,
they were
Bundesliga
probably also
is
the
usually
Pokal
one team.
champions as well. Brad, who's in the final? You have a 50% shot of getting this correct. And and who's winning and what's the score?
I'm going to be an absolute hopeful. I'm going to pull a CONCACAF scoreline out of my butt and say that England makes it to the final, and England dos a ceros, Spain.
Raymond, at what scoreline does the Argentinian squad start? You are always scared of injuries, which is why I bring this up to you. At what scoreline do they just start attempting to injure their English opposition, or do they just do that from the gun because of or from the whistle, because of the Falklands War? Also, who's in the final and who's winning?
Yeah, I think when you got players like Christian Romero that is known for playing a little reckless, and got players that get away with stuff on Argentina, we're going to see some chippy stuff. But hey, England isn't going to back down. We've seen that this cup, and I'm full on. I'm on Team England. Like I said, any team that has Jed Spence that refuses to shake Thomas Partey's hand during the pre-game handshakes because of certain things that may have happened in the nightlife or outside of soccer, it's awesome. So I'm Team England. Team England's going to win, and they're going to destroy everyone going forward. I'm not giving you a scoreline. I'm just telling you they're going to destroy everyone. Did you give your prediction, Dylan, or can we move on, or do you need to give yours still?
I don't need to give my prediction. Destroy everyone like they did for like multiple centuries as they were a gigantic empire. Hey-o. Go ahead, Ray. What'd you have?
Really quick, your quick thoughts. So this is when I say quick, like 10 seconds. Danny Rojas makes his debut in the USL Prinx Tire Cup match for El Paso Locomotive. Your thoughts? Is it big news, or is it who cares? Dylan.
When I'm 35 and my knees are shot and I make my debut in the Prinx Tires Cup that nobody's ever heard of, does anybody care?
Brad. And I know it's not Danny Rojas. Really quick, I know his real name is Cristo Fernandez, but I will always call him Danny Rojas because of the show that he plays that character on. Brad, go for it.
I didn't see his impact on that game. All I know is this game was tied 0-0 when he came on, and they lost that, I think, 2-0 or 1-0. So I'm going to say it's all his fault, and he should never get another shot in the league again. And don't tap the sign, because I do not believe.
And in our private chats, I love Dylan. Obviously, I think the impact is awesome because it just gives recognition to the USL Championship, regardless of the results and his impact on the match. It's free promotion for the league and for El Paso Locomotive, which if there's promotion there, it's helpful to Orange County. Larry, your thoughts really quick, and then we'll wrap things up.
Good for him on getting the opportunity. I don't know how good and or bad of a soccer player he is and whether or not he deserves to be on a USL Championship roster, but they did it. They put him on there. Awesome. Satchel Paige made his Major League Baseball debut at 53. So did he deserve that roster spot? I don't think so, but he got it, and it was good publicity.
That is disrespectful. Satchel Paige, Larry, and you know that.
Well, I'm not saying he wasn't good, but he was 57. He was 20 years past his prime.
Was there a such thing as prime back in the days? I think players played till they were 50.
No.
for whatever reason. Let's go ahead and wrap things up on this because I feel like we're at the point where we potentially could go down a wormhole of craziness. So we're going to wrap things up with a what did we learn, or what have you learned, or what did you learn this episode or this week? Dylan, what did you learn?
You cannot pronounce the word formidable correctly is maybe the most pressing thing to me.
Formidable. It's the proper way to say it, Dylan. Don't worry about it.
Brad,
Brad, what did you learn?
week?
I didn't really learn anything special this week.
Man, we do
You
not
knew that
teach.
Satchel
We do not
Paige
share.
made his debut when he was old.
Brad already knew that. I feel Brad knew that already.
Fair enough.
Larry, what did you
Whatever.
learn?
I learned that we all seem to apparently equally hate Lionel Messi, which makes me very happy because I've never really been that big of a fan of the guy. He's
I
better
don't
at
hate
soccer than
Lionel
I am.
Messi.
No, you hate him. Shut up. You
I
hate
hate
him.
Argentina as a country.
Okay, well there you go. Don't cry for Brad, Argentina.
I think
So there
next
you
week is going to be quite the geopolitics episode. I'm, for one, thrilled. We'll get Cameron Millage back on the show because I think he'll be able to help out with that. So, I just want to fact
My
check that
random
really
thing-
quick. Satchel Paige
my
made his
random thing-
debut at 42, but his last
Yeah.
name was in his late 50s.
Yeah, Larry, man, you got to give us the correct facts on that. What did I learn over this last week? I actually learned after last week's episode when we were talking and looking through former Orange County Soccer Cup players that AC Boise has a roster of some players that we would all know and that you're like maybe would be surprised that they're in League One at this point. Thomas Among, one of those players. Charlie Adams, one of those players. Both former Orange County players. Both players that had pretty good careers in USL Championship. Now they're playing in League One. Maybe I'll have to go up to Boise and watch a match. Who knows? Are you okay there, Larry? Is that like painful for you to hear that I have to go to Boise to watch a match?
There's nothing that could get me to go to Boise. Nothing.
He just wants
Well-
to say Boise repeatedly, and he can hammer it home that he thinks pronouncing it Boise the way they do makes it better because everyone else says Boise. Clearly, Idahoans or whatever they are would be the experts.
I have my wife's grandma lives in Boise, so I well Meridian technically, but it's Boise, so I got to go there from time to time. So I'll go catch a match. With that said, I want to thank everyone that participated in this episode today. Wait, go for it, Dylan. What do you got to say?
I have nothing. No, you're good.
Well, you
man.
look mad that I'm wrapping things up. Go for it.
Not mad. Not about this either.
We still got 1 minute and 53 seconds.
Producer Andy, roll the credits.
No, I want to thank everyone for participating in this episode, including Dylan, Brad, Larry, producer Andy, and every single listener that listened live to the episode, participated in the chats. We appreciate the listening and the chatting and all that fun stuff. If you like what you heard, give us a like, a thumbs up, a heart, whatever it is on whatever social media platform you're on. If you didn't like what we had to say, still do that for us. Spread the word, share our voices with other people, and maybe you all can help us convince to say something different or change our minds. Who knows? If you don't know, we do this show live every Tuesday on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, wherever else we do it. Producer Annie's going to get mad at me again because I don't know exactly where every single episode is. Just go to YouTube. That's probably the main place everyone watches us every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Pacific time. And if you can, just give us a follow on your podcast platform, whether that's Spotify, where you can watch the video version of our shows, or any other podcast platform as well. Thank you, everyone. This has been a fun episode. So Orange and Black SoccerCast, we are out. I guess not. Maybe we're still here.
Okay, over under on how many times they mentioned